Hi, I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective. We're here with Epic Games, Miles Perkins. Hello, Miles.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Miles, we are entering what we're calling the SIGGRAPH season. So, SIGGRAPH, virtual SIGGRAPH is coming up. Can you tell me a little bit about what Epic has planned for the show?
Yeah, so I mean, we're working with some of our partners in some of the offerings that they have in and around SIGGRAPH. Amazon, for example, a couple panels and keynote participation, and then also we have another discussion that's going on that Mark Petit, our general manager on the enterprise side, he'll be talking about the metaverse and the meaning of that and what we have to look forward to in the future.
Okay, well, in terms of Metaverse, can you just give us a teeny little hint at what you guys believe that to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. There, you hear a lot of conversations about the metaverse, and of course, we've had different incarnations of this. I'm always kind of a little bit more of the mind that a lot of the things that we see out there just need to be packaged up in the right way. So the metaverse, the concept of it is, a place where people can go, experience, and have the gaming experiences or social experiences, or can consume media. Um, and I think that some of the tools, the real-time tools that are available now, we've never been in such and a situation or an amazing space that we've been in now, where both the hardware and the software have gotten to a point which can actually enable for there to be a metaverse where people can come and share their experiences and share content. To make it more simple, though, I mean, I always say that the metaverse is it's kind of basically, think of it as the internet or the cable TV of the future. I mean, that's really what it is. It's a place where you can aggregate some of the various technologies and distribution techniques that are out there right now into one place, but give you the experience of moving around it so that it's much more visually based than some of the other platforms. So definitely really exciting times.
Okay, and Mark will be talking about that. What other events are you involved in at SIGGRAPH?
Yeah, so some of the other stuff is really talking a little bit about some of these production workflows being in the cloud. And the thing to me that is really exciting right now, being having been a part of the industry since the early 90s, really, when we went through this explosion of computer graphics. I think one of the things that happened back then was we started to introduce all of this nomenclature that was a bit foreign to filmmakers. And we've been burdened with that in many ways ever since then. And now with virtual production, and virtual production kind of by definition to me is the bridge between what's physical and what's virtual, and being able to do that in real time. It necessitates the ability to talk about and review what's virtual and what's physical at the same time, which again, that necessitates a common nomenclature. Being able to say, whether I'm talking about, a set and bringing it up a stop, or I'm talking about the set extension, bringing it up a stop, I need to be able to communicate the exact same thing. And I think this is an opportunity for us to get some of the technology out of the way so that creators can create.
Interesting. Well, virtual production has come a long way in the last year. I mean, it existed before the pandemic, clearly, but I think a lot of people that were sitting on the fence or a little dubious decided, you know what, if we're going to keep working, we need to embrace this technology. So why don't we talk a little bit about how virtual production has evolved over the past, let's say, 18 months, and where you see it going in the next year?
Yeah. So actually, if I look back to SIGGRAPH 2019, back then we did that demo, the motorcycle demo back then. And at that time, in terms of if I'm just, so virtual production is not only stages, but it's really the entire process. But let me just take stages as a for example. I think there were probably of real like stages that you could actually track the camera and change perspective. There were probably 5 of them back then. We're tracking, over 150, more closer to 200 right now globally. And that's just since 2019. So it's really, there's really been an explosion of adoption of these real-time tools and techniques, both with in-camera visual effects and with just virtual production in general. So the virtual production in general, meaning in pre-production, and I won't even necessarily say previs, because I mean it encompasses previs and tech viz and stunt viz. It incorporates all of that. But what we're looking at right now is when you start off, you're actually in production. Like, yes, it's pre-production, but you are leading to something where you're going to be able to use all of those assets that you deemed usable, and the decisions that you made in pre-production, you're going to be able to bring those into production. And then they will flow directly into post-production, and not only for your linear content, but can also be leveraged across other verticals, whether that's, in live entertainment, in parks, whether we're talking about online, whether we're talking about the marketing materials, whatever we're talking about, you can start to use those same assets and some of those same scenes that you've created. So in the last, since 2019, it's been truly amazing to see how many people have adopted this, and for very different reasons as well.
So you'll continue to see the progress of virtual production. What do you see in the future? I mean, any idea what might happen? More people adopting it in different ways?
Well, one of the things that I want to point out really is it's a democratization. Again, this is something that we did not see back in the 90s. And it's something that we haven't seen really until now. And this gets back to not only the fact that the tools are made available and are free. The learning material that is out there is free, so anybody can go and take their own self-guided learning path. But also, again, talking about some of this cloud stuff is that, in order to optimize your workflow, you may not need to do the full investment in a desktop machine that is, completely tricked out, which, by the way, is a lot less than we were paying back then, or even some of these higher end. I mean, it's with consumer grade hardware. I'm seeing some amazing work that people are doing in real time. But that aside, being able to do this also using virtual machines and in the cloud and using pixel streaming, just to reiterate, it's where technology is starting to get out of the way, and people can just start to create and have their own interface that they work with, so that they can iterate and iterate and iterate and get to their story and get to the performance, as opposed to worrying about the technological hurdles that they have to get over.
Right, they could just create to create and not worry about the rest of it.
Right. And collaborate. That's the other thing, is just as I might be able to collaborate on a physical set, we're seeing people who are collaborating across the globe, but yet they seem like they're right there in the same space. So that even that part is also amazing. One of the things that we've also, I think I'm very excited about also, and that over this past year, it's forced some of the workforce and the people who are hiring talent to take them where they are. So again, that means that they don't necessarily have to come into a brick and mortar facility, but they can contribute from where they are. And from the perspective of the artist, that really makes me happy. Because, while, yeah, I think it's great to be able to go into a facility and work hand in hand with your colleagues, being given the flexibility to also be able to work from where you're at, I think is really, really important for just uh, just the other side of just the quality of life. And I think that that part is also exciting. And what we're hearing back from some of the studios and the visual effects houses and animation houses is they don't anticipate going back to be fully on premises. They actually plan on continuing to do a hybrid workflow. And to me that's really exciting because it's going to open up people's ability to tap into talent that may be global talent. They may not be in the same time zone for that matter, but really to have access to them where they are and get their best work. That's
So,
exciting.
so maybe the days of visual effects artists using sleeping bags underneath their workstations, that's over.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, but maybe it's that they'll be in their, California king size bed, and it'll be really close. But, again, that depends on the production and everything like that. But the option of being able to have that flexibility, I think that is really incredibly powerful.